they're two of the most influential things. And specifically, they're extra influential because our suns are in Cancer. So one can look at a chart in this way as well. So like our sun is in Cancer. Well, there's a planet that traditionally rules each sign, right? So like what planet rules Cancer? Well, it's the moon. So then we look to the moon because really our identity is reporting back first to our emotional self, the moon in Taurus. And then Taurus is saying, I need security and I need physical pleasure to feel okay. Oh, we didn't even add the 8th house element to this. Okay, that'll be fucking interesting. And then we'll find out, so, well, the moon is in Taurus. Well, what rules Taurus? Well, what rules Taurus? So then we'll find that it's Venus. We'll look to see where Venus is. And then we can start to see like a chain is created of like how you process things in general and like what filtration system things go through, like in what order for you, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's talk about the 8th house part of this because that's a doozy. So all those things about Taurus just being dope, and the moon, I think it's like a great spot for the moon. Personally, it's actually exalted in Taurus, so that's like a boost to it, to the moon's power or whatever. There's what's called condition of each sign, which like if you know what the word condition is, you probably can surmise. But there's a couple of different varying ways in which planets are graded on their ability to be and like express their energy or like to use the sign as a conduit for their energy or not. So for instance, the moon is at home in Cancer, so it does like really fucking good there, like it kicks ass. But it's also like really good buddies with Venus, I guess, because in Venus's house Taurus, it is exalted and can kick ass extra good too. So that's Liddy. I don't know if I have anything like negative to say about Taurus, moon and Taurus, because like, I mean, I watch Being Material, but like, we're of the earth. I mean, you gotta have something nice, you know? But I constantly am like, that is bad though, actually, because like literally anytime I'm feeling like anything, I'm like, oh girl, treat yourself, girl. And it's like, girl, you can't treat yourself every single day, you know? But then again, like, I don't know, whatever. You do you. But I guess that could be a thing to watch for. Okay, so let's add the 8th house element of this, because the 8th house is the house of death. So good luck with that. No, really the 8th, well, it is the house of death, but it's like the house of transformation, really, like death and rebirth. And additionally, it's really just like, it's the house of like the dark shit that like people don't look at type thing. It's like the hush hush, like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Anything that falls into that is the 8th house. So that is like sex, other people's money, debts, taboo things in general, like occult studies, like literally anything that you would not bring up like in front of maybe your grandparents or like, you know, someone of an older generation that like might have limits to what they want to speak about and are not so open. That would be all shit probably. That would fall right into the 8th house. So the fact that your Taurus moon is there that wants pleasure is probably a little bit amplified by the sex part of the 8th house, perhaps. And in that it wants like, on top of like, it already wants sensual pleasure, like being physically touched or eating good food or listening to good music. It wants things that are earthly, that it can feel physically. It's in the house of sex too. So like it probably additionally, there might be a way that you process emotions that is physical. I wonder what else though. So death. I mean, death is hot. There's also like I guess like a groundedness that like just applies to all those concepts that you probably have. It's not like Mercury's there, so like it's not like, oh, he like loves to talk about dark shit necessarily, or like communicate or anything like that, but it's like maybe like a grounded like comprehension in some way of things that are kind of hard for most people to deal with, that you might have like a little bit of a well, you're just grounded because your emotions are earth. So that could apply to anything, but specifically because it's in the 8th house, you have an ability to like, one, endure those things when they might occur around you or whatever, but two, to probably like be a person to lean on during those times, perhaps for other people, because like, girl, your emotional heart is standing strong and like sustaining itself probably just fine in that 8th house of deep dark shit. So people probably turn to you, one, because you're receptive and empathetic because you're a Cancer, and two, like because they can deeply intuitively feel probably that like you got them on shit like that they couldn't probably see from others necessarily. For instance, they would never see it from me. I'm just kidding. My Taurus moon is in my 5th house of pleasure and creativity. So not too terribly different energy, but a little bit lighter. But yeah, your emotional processing, and definitely has a layer of depth and transformation. So it might be that like you experience some transformations throughout your life regarding the way in which you emotionally process things. But generally speaking, I would say that those ways in which you do that will always be in a way that can endure, and a way that is receptive to your sensory pleasures, because that's what will feed that Taurus moon.